ranking for the 2022 NFL season, week 1, here we go. So coming in at number 32, I have the Chicago Bears. Listen, Justin Fields is the bravest man in the NFL for lining up behind this offensive line this season. They really didn't do anything to help Justin Fields this offseason. This front office really didn't do anything to help him. And guess what? Allen Robinson isn't on this team anymore either, so it's going to be tough for Justin Fields. At number 31, I have the Seattle Seahawks. They obviously lost their franchise quarterback this offseason, and personally, I think Pete Carroll is going to be out after this season. At number 30, I have the Houston Texans. Listen, this team isn't super talented on paper, but Davis Mills did show some flashes during his rookie season, so if he continues trending in that direction, in that positive direction, I think this Houston Texans team can, put together a few wins. At number 29, I have the Atlanta Falcons, another team with a really not super impressive roster. And also, I'm just not a big fan of Arthur Smith as their head coach. At number 28, I have the New York Jets. So Zach Wilson is a huge question mark for this team. We already know he's not going to play week 1, but the huge question mark is if he's going to improve this year. Is he going to take a step in the right direction? Because it seems like he still has a lot of stuff that he needs to put together to be a good NFL quarterback. So if he puts his stuff together and, improves and moves in the right direction, that's great. But if he doesn't, yikes for the Jets. At number 27, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I love the Doug Peterson hire. I think Trevor Lawrence is actually going to tear it up this season. At number 26, I have the Detroit Lions, another coach I like. Another coach everyone likes. That's Dan Campbell. He really is building something in Detroit. They're a rebuilding team, but I think they're kind of going to break out of that rebuilding spot this year and get a few surprising wins. At number 25, I have the New York Giants. So much hinges on how Daniel Jones performs this year. If he doesn't play well, this team is going to be really, really bad. Also, Saquon Barkley is coming back from injury again. Is he ever going to return to Rookie of the Year Saquon Barkley? At number 24, I have the Carolina Panthers. Baker Mayfield is an upgrade at quarterback over Sam Darnold. If CMC can stay healthy, this team will be better than last year's. At number 23, I have the Washington Commanders. Yes, this defensive line is still very good, but I have a lot of question marks about Carson Wentz. At number 22, I have the New England Patriots. This team really didn't do anything to help Mac Jones this offseason. I could see a sophomore slump happening because the team just didn't really do anything or add any pieces to really help him. I really didn't like their offseason, but listen, this is a Bill Belichick team. It doesn't matter what I think. They're always going to be a contender. At number 21, I have the Miami Dolphins. So they added Tyreek Hill this offseason, but so much of how this team does is going to depend on how Tua plays. And honestly, I don't know how Tua's going to play. I honestly have no idea how he's going to do. Is he going to be able to, get the ball to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill? Is he going to be able to make those tough throws? I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. At number 20, I have the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins just has to do a little more, and then they could possibly be a playoff team. His stats are fine and stuff, but he just doesn't get them over the edge. He just doesn't, do it in the big moments. He doesn't have that, it factor. If he could just have a little bit of that it factor, this team could be a playoff team. At number 19, I have the Cleveland Browns. So after the Watson suspension, I don't really know where to rank this team. Yes, they have a good roster outside of Watson, but listen, they had a very similar roster last season, and they didn't play super well with Baker under center. So how are they going to play with Brissett now at quarterback for the majority of the season? At number 18, I have the New Orleans Saints. Jameis is back. Michael Thomas is back. They drafted Chris Olave, who I love. There is a ton of potential for this team. At number 17, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. This defense is going to carry this team like it did last year. Anyone at quarterback is an upgrade over Ben Roethlisberger because last year he was just like a statue back there. At number 16, I have the Arizona Cardinals. I really don't think Cliff Kingsbury is a good head coach. I think they're going to struggle the first 6 games of the season without DeAndre Hopkins. At number 15, I have the Tennessee Titans. Listen, I just have never been on the Tennessee Titans hype train. I don't know. I love Mike Vrabel. I think Mike Vrabel is an outstanding head coach, but I can't trust the team with Ryan Tannehill as its quarterback, no matter how good the defense is, no matter how good Derrick Henry is. At number 14, I have the Indianapolis Colts. They play in one of the weakest divisions in the NFL, if not the weakest division in the NFL, and I think they can win that division, the AFC South. Matt Ryan is an upgrade over Carson Wentz. At number 13, I have the Las Vegas Raiders. Derek Carr is an extremely underrated quarterback in the NFL. His connection with Devontae Adams this season is going to be dominant, in my opinion. Listen, I really don't like the Josh McDaniels hire, but we'll see what this offense can do. At number 12, I have the Dallas Cowboys. Listen, I think this team has a lot more question marks than people think. I think losing Amari Cooper is going to have a big impact. Yes, CD is an outstanding wide receiver. I think he can be a wide receiver one, but is he still going to have that drop issue? Their offensive line has gotten worse. There's a lot of question marks with this team. I'm going to have to see how they play the first few weeks of the season. At number 11, I have the San Francisco 49ers. How quickly Trey Lance feels comfortable in the system is going to dictate how well this team does this season. If Trey Lance plays really well, this team could be a Super Bowl team. At number 10, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have a really well-rounded and strong roster, but this is another team where a ton depends on how their quarterback plays. If Jalen Hurts takes the next steps in his development, this will be a very good team. I also think they need to run the ball more than they did last year, though, especially more than they did at the start of last season. At number 9, I have the Denver Broncos. Bringing in Russell Wilson is huge for this team, but my question is, how quickly will this team click with a new quarterback and a new head coach? At number 8, I have the Baltimore Ravens. I really love this Ravens team this year. They have a ton of key players coming back from injury, and I really feel an MVP type season coming from Lamar this year. At number 7, I have the Green Bay Packers. Losing Devontae Adams is huge for this team. Allen Lazard is now the number 1. There's a bunch of young wide receivers. How is Aaron Rodgers going to play in this situation? At number 6, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. This defense improved a ton this offseason, adding J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack. And let me just say, Herbie for MVP. At number 5, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. They're another team that lost their number 1 wide receiver. And how will this affect Mahomes, especially because he likes to throw the deep ball? And MVS, I guess, is that new deep threat. Like, how is that going to work out? Because obviously MVS is not Tyreek. Their defense struggled a ton, especially in the early part of last season. But I'm telling you, watch out for Karlaftis. He looked insane in the preseason coming off the edge. So watch out for him this upcoming season. At number 4, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The thing that can really derail this team this year is the injuries to their offensive line. They've already had a few injuries to their offensive line in the summer, and I think it's really going to affect them. But their wide receiver core is looking great with Julio, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin should be back week 1 or week 2. And oh yeah, Tom Brady, he's like a pretty decent quarterback, has a pretty decent number of rings and stuff. He's pretty good. At number 3, I have the Los Angeles Rams, the Super Bowl champs. I love the addition of Allen Robinson and Cooper Kupp. That's a great wide receiver duo. Also, I love the addition of Bobby Wagner. Yes, they lost a few guys on that defense, but Aaron Donald is still on that team. At number 2, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. They shocked the world making the Super Bowl last season, and guess what? This team got better. Their offensive line finally looks like it can be a decent O-line and give Joe Burrow more than 1 second back there. And guess what? Joe Burrow is another season removed from that ACL. He has 1 season under his belt after that ACL injury. I think he's going to be even more confident and even more comfortable back there this season, which is huge. At number 1, I have the Buffalo Bills. Probably a surprise to no one because a lot of people are picking this team to win the Super Bowl. They have a really, really good roster on paper, maybe the best roster on paper, and Josh Allen has just been so dominant lately. Is this finally going to be Buffalo's year? All right, guys, that is it for this video. I appreciate you watching till the end. Peace.